Happy Sunday, and welcome everyone to episode 36 of Video Game Club. As always, I'm your host, Tyler, and I have with me today your friend, my friend, Austin.
Hello.
Hello, Austin. And it would not be a Video Game Club episode without the amazing, fabulous, wonderful Mox.
Hello. You're so nice to me.
Oh yeah, of course. How is everyone doing?
Great.
Not too bad for going to work tomorrow. Trying to avoid the dread, but got that extra hour back today. Goodbye daylight savings time. It's nice and cool out, finally.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Tyler?
I mean, the heat's out in my apartment right now. Well, my house, my duplex. I don't know. Where I live, I have no heat. And that sucks because it's cold. But I could not have a roof over my head and I could be starving and I could have tons of other problems. So, glass half full. Half empty? I don't know. I'm happy overall.
Half full. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, before we get started talking about this game, Cultist Simulator.
I don't like how you said that.
Oh, sorry. Before we get started talking about this game, Cultist Simulator.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Yeah, much.
What have you guys been playing, Mox?
Well, just before the stream, we were playing this adorable game that someone bought for me based on the name alone called Cats Organized Neatly. It's so cute.
Is it? It's on Steam?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know when I assume it came out recently. I don't know. It's adorable. You put cats together in a grid. And apparently there's going to be a Dogs Organized Neatly that came out or is coming out or something. If you are a fan of dogs, which dogs are gross. And then also I got back into Xenoblade Chronicles 2 after unpacking it.
Whoa.
And I moved months and months ago. So I need to finish it. I never finished it. I'm in chapter 7 now.
Oh, yeah. That game is very good. Did you finish the first one?
Yes.
I got so far in the second one, but I've not finished the first one. And I'm like, I just scratched the surface of it, but every time I play the first one, I'm like, man, I should just finish the second one because I just like it a lot better for some reason.
The gameplay is better. Definitely, it's hard to go back. I played the first one I got the Wii version. It was on sale for like $40 at what's it called? GameStop. Got it. Played it.
When was that, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't remember when it came out, but I bought it like
roughly.
Like 2017.
Okay. So the reason I was asking was so GameStop was like an exclusive retailer for that game in the US when it came out, and there was this kind of weird thing that happened where as soon as the game came out, they had used copies selling for $90.
Oh.
So people were like, "Are y'all cannibalizing your own new stock to sell used copies for more?"
That's rude.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
That's gross, yeah.
I waited for a sale because I wasn't going to pay $90 for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And then we got the really good Switch remaster.
I have not played that. Is it good?
I think so. I've only played it on new 3DS and Switch. And
yes, I played on new 3DS as well.
The new 3DS version is also like pretty impressive.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The graphics are better than the Wii version.
Really?
Well, it feels that way. Maybe just based on the size of the screen.
Maybe looking at a smaller screen,
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, that's just we should maybe play that sometime for Game Club or something. Austin, what have you been playing?
A lot of Knockout City.
What is that? City. I've never heard of that.
It's like a dodgeball competitive game.
It's not like a dodgeball competitive game. It is one.
It's not right. Like it's not just like you're on a court. You play dodgeball.
That's true. Okay,
like, it's
fair,
a bit different.
Fair.
And
there's like an arena
lots
and stuff.
Different mechanics to it. Like you can roll yourself up into a ball for your teammates to use or things like that. There's all sorts of different ball types. But it's super fun. I finally got some friends into it, and I've been training them. They're now better than me, which is pretty awesome. But we've just been, we were a force to be reckoned with, which is cool. I started up Fatal Frame: Maiden of Black Water on Switch.
That's the new one, right?
Old, new. It's a re-release of the Wii U game. which I had been wanting to buy it on Wii U for ages, and they were just like, no, it's $60 all the time. But anyway, that's pretty much what I've been doing.
I didn't realize that it was a Wii U like re-release sort of thing.
Yeah,
that's something I've been wanting to check out myself for a while. I've been playing a lot of stuff for the Game Pass video that I put up. Please go check that out. I worked really hard on it, and I don't know, it was fun. And there's some good games in there. And then I bought Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, the Friends of Mineral Town like remake on Xbox. I've been playing that, and it was an ordeal. I buy almost all my games digitally if I can, because I just am lazy and don't like to get up and put a disc in.
But Amazon will deliver it to your house.
Yeah, but I still have to get off my couch and put it in my console.
Oh wow! I thought you were going to say that you get out of your
house. No. But also that. But anyway, it's dumb. But like, I couldn't. It was not in the store for a long time, and I ended up buying a physical copy, and then I canceled it because it went on the store like middle of the day that day it came out. Whenever usually it's like at midnight it comes out, so it was really weird. But yeah, I've been playing that and a little Scarlet Nexus. And
how was that?
Scarlet Nexus is awesome. Oh. It is really, really fun, and the style is just so good, and the music and just all of it is so good. Also, Mox, I think you would really like this game called AI the Somnium Files.
Oh yeah, it's $9.99.
Oh, I didn't realize that. It's the same people?
It's like the next part.
Did not know that.
The ending of it, I guess. Is it? Or maybe it's not related.
No, I thought that was a separate series, because there was like after 999 is Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward, and then Zero Time Dilemma, I think.
Yes. I played all of those. I know this is by the same people. I thought it was, maybe it's just a spiritual successor.
Okay. Well, either way, you should check it out.
Is it good?
I don't like games like that. You know that. So like, I'm not going to be a good person, but whenever I was playing it, I was like, I bet Mox would like this.
You don't like it?
It wasn't for me at the beginning, but it's okay. Anyway, as I mentioned before, this is Video Game Club. We're not here to talk about all those other games, although we could go on forever probably. Yes. But every 2 weeks, we get together and discuss a game voted on by our wonderful friends in the Bombchu Discord, and discuss that game right here on twitch.tv/BombchuTV. And if you can't catch us live, don't you worry your little heart, because you can find it up on YouTube and all major podcast services, thanks to the magic of post-production and editing.
You're going to say the internet. Magic of the internet.
And the internet, yeah, of course. Okay. I couldn't do it without, my number one, the internet. But just search Bombchu Video Game Club. Don't worry, you'll find it. So let's go over the nominations for this episode, which were suggested by you, Mox.
Me?
Yeah, and they were Cadence of Hyrule, which I'm kind of sad that didn't get picked. WarioWare,
Me too.
Get It Together, also sad. And Cultist Simulator. And we are here to talk about Cultist Simulator. What is Cultist Simulator? Well, it's a cardboard game simulation thing.
You called it a cardboard game. That's funny.
Developed by Weather Factory, published by our good old friends Humble Bundle. Released.
Oh, who knew?
Yep. Released on May 31st, 2018. Uses some sort of custom engine. And yeah, that is the game in a little nutshell. And of course, we're going to go deeper into that. But before we do that, what was going on in 2018? Hardware, we had the Oculus Go and the PlayStation Mini, which, God, the story of that PlayStation Mini is just crazy. How it went from like, this will sell like hotcakes to like the price going way, way, way down and people just trying to get rid of inventory. I don't know if
$20 in the bargain bin.
Yeah. Did you buy one at $20?
I bought one at $20 and I was like, you know what? Worst case, I can put some of my own games on there. So I've been playing Chrono Cross on mine.
That's awesome. That is awesome. and some software
which I own on CD, just so nobody gets on me, because I know I'm always like, don't pirate games, but I do own it on disc as well.
As a person who has visited Austin's house, I can say he does have a lot of games physically. So, even ones you would not think he would have. Anyway, like Tecmo Bowl. Software that came out in 2018: Red Dead 2, God of War, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Fallout 76, Ni no Kuni 2, Pokemon Let's Go, Eevee and Pikachu, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and a game that we played. Austin, what is it?
2018.
I'm putting you on the spot.
18. This would have been something. Wii U, PC. I'm blanking. Hard. Oh, was it Katamari?
It was.
Reroll?
Yes.
Oh
yes,
my God.
Man,
Okay.
I'm surprised you got there. I'm impressed. I'm so impressed. Yeah, so let's dive into Cultist Simulator. It is a narrative-driven board game simulation where you take the role of a citizen in a nameless society where your actions may lead to creating a cult-like following. The game's mechanics are presented as a combination of cards and action buttons. The cards represent just a bunch of different stuff. There's like persons, there's attributes like health, reason, there's locations, items, money, lore, a bunch of stuff. Whenever the default choice of character, you start off with 2 cards, a career card and 1 health. You drop cards into slots to like use them. So like, for example, you'll put the career card in the blue one. I forget what it's called.
Isn't it work?
Work? Maybe it is work. You put the career and the work action button, and then over time that will generate like funds. For example,
if you don't have a career, then you can throw something else in there. Like
your own health.
Yeah,
sacrifice yourself, physical labor, and some other stuff. But yeah, these action buttons they pop up over time as the game progresses. Some of these can be really beneficial, like being able to like study something or talk to a person or have a dream about a thing. That one's really weird. Exploring. And then there's other things that are kind of not cool that happen that can be quite detriment. Like you have like the timer, which takes money away. Sometimes there's like something that pops up that requires like health or you'll get sick. And those can all lead to the death of your character. And so as time goes on, these like action buttons, they have like a little time limit on them whenever you activate them, and all that time is going at the same time. You can pause, you can play at like a normal speed, you can fast forward. Can't
reverse, can't undo.
You cannot reverse, you cannot undo. Sometimes cards are like used, like they when you use them, they're gone. And sometimes they like transform into like a different card. It just kind of like depends on the use of it. Sometimes you like learn more about that card, which is kind of interesting. It just kind of depends. The game has several different like victory and failure conditions. Both have these sane and insane routes, apparently. I say apparently because I didn't experience them, and I don't know if you guys did, but there's a lot of ways to finish this game. No
victory conditions were experienced by me.
Yeah, same.
I had one, but I believe it was a sane one then. But yeah, that's the game in a nutshell, right? For the most part, the mechanics.
Yes.
Am I missing something? Oh, I didn't talk about the like dark blue cards that you get. I don't know what they're supposed to represent exactly. Maybe like emotions or something, like dread. Yeah, emotions.
Oh, well, no, they're
like shadow cards or whatever.
Yeah, they have some cards that you get. Those cards and like some other cards will have a timer on the specific card, and if the timer ends, that card will then disappear as well. And so some of them have like a negative thing. Some of them are like, if you use this within this time limit, something like positive can happen. It just kind of depends on the card. So yeah, that's the game. You know, a little overview of it in a nutshell. So let's talk about the developer. So it was developed by Weather Factory, which is an indie game studio created by Alexis Kennedy, who previously founded a company called Fail Better Games. Some games from Fail Better Games that you may have heard of include Fallen London. They did a Dragon Age web game called Dragon Age: The Lost Court.
What?
Sunless Sea and Sunless Skies, which I think, Austin, you have some experience with the Sunless games, right? From bundles.
A little bit. I played them for some bundle reviews. Yeah.
Can you give us a they were great, or
There are a lot of people who really like them, similar to this game.
Are you one of those?
Off of them very hard.
Okay, that's fair. So Kennedy actually split from Fail Better and founded Weather Factory in 2016, and he did that because he was looking for a more hands-on role.
Is it a man or a lady?
It's a dude. I looked it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just was thinking of Alexis from that Schitt's Creek show. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. And he wanted to go back into the design and writing of games less, instead of management, which makes sense. I feel like a lot of people experience that in their careers and can relate to that. And Cultist Simulator was the studio's first game, and it was an experimental title that they could produce pretty quickly with minimal costs, which is why they decided to make this game. They also had some experience already with card-driven narrative systems with the game Fallen London. I kind of looked into it. It looks like a card game. I didn't play it or anything at the time when it came out. I assume none of us did, right? For the most part.
Don't even know about it.
Kennedy said that a card-based approach helped to make concepts more tangible and allowed for players to organize the cards as they saw best fit. And I used that a lot. I loved organizing my cards in this game. That was probably one of the fun things about this game that I really liked.
You say that as if nothing else was fun.
Well, there is a user interface to this game to help the player understand what the cards are and stuff. But Kennedy wanted a lot of the strategy and reasoning to be discovered by the players themselves. He wanted to mimic a crafting system, he said, in other role-playing games, and to create a Lovecraftian feel to the game. So sometimes in crafting games you have to put two things together and just see if something happens, and sometimes it'll be a failure, and then sometimes it'll produce some other item that you need or whatever. So a lot of trial and error.
Really, really well, because I for a long time I thought I just hated all crafting systems in games because of that type of crafting system.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah. Kennedy said the player, quote, will be able to mesh together an understanding of this very deep, very complicated lore in the same way that the scholars of Lovecraft are actually doing in fiction. Are you guys big Lovecraft people? Fans?
Yes. That is why I picked up this game.
Really? So
I like Lovecraftian stuff, but I don't think I've ever actually read anything that Lovecraft has done. I love for example, the movie The Thing. Love it, and people keep telling me, "Oh, that's Lovecraftian." I'm like,
"Oh, is it?" Well, I've never seen it. Huh?
Mox, what's something else Lovecraftian that you really like besides this, or what kind of steered you towards this game? What was the seed that you were like, "Oh, it's Lovecraftian"?
The one thing I like about Lovecraft, and I think I can't remember the name of it right now. That game that's Dark Souls-esque. It's a Dark Souls game, but it has Lovecraft in it. Oh my god, it's the one with the man. There's a cage with his head. Why are you guys not telling me the name of it? Yes, Bloodborne.
Okay, I didn't know that was Lovecraftian.
Yes. Oh, so the theme, I guess, of Lovecraft is we live our life not knowing these things about, I don't know, call it the dark underbelly of the world, of the history of the world. And then as you learn more about it, you go more and more insane, which shows up in Bloodborne as the more, is it called insight? I think that's what
I forget what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
I think it's called insight.
As you get more of that, you get to see more and more of these weird tentacle things that are swirling around every single, building in the world. And the same thing kind of happens in this game, whereas you kind of go deeper into the just everything. You get more and more insane, and the cards kind of reflect it.
Yeah.
And so I really like that theme of like as you learn more, the worse everything gets, and so that's what kind of drew me in.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Community announced the project in September 2016. There was a like web version of like how the game would play, and then he used a Kickstarter to raise funds for the game. It launched in a year from the announcement, so September 2017. And then he pushed the release date into May 2018, and the Kickstarter succeeded in obtaining 82,000 British pounds, and it was trying to get to 30,000. So,
good.
It's quite the success, and it's quite, I feel like, a low goal for that game. So it looks like I guess it didn't need that very much or something. I don't know. So how did it review? Well, it was mixed and average. Some people, there was no one who like there were people who loved it, and there were a lot of people who didn't like it. So, it's kind of like all over the place. Some of the things that people really liked was the lore, the presentation of the table, like how like the cards look and like just everything that you see in front of you, the writing. Some things that people like didn't really like was that it was kind of repetitive, depending on like the run that you were going on, and that the length of, I call it a run, but like the playthrough, I guess you could say, and the length of the playthrough could be kind of long to get, like you would basically, it would be like kind of like a slow burn. Like you already knew that you were kind of failing, and it would take you a while to like legit fail.
Yeah, I could see that.
Which I experienced that once. And then the other thing that people like didn't really like one of the big cons that I read was that there was no snap, like for the
What's
cards.
A snap?
Like to like snap them like on a grid.
Oh, there is a grid.
And so people really wanted it. Yeah, I feel like
really.
but it's like not exactly. Like if you look at the gameplay right now, you can see how like the cards aren't exactly lined up, and for some people that like really gets to them.
Oh,
yeah, I was trying to like drag them into areas that seemed like they would be like, hey, replace them over here, and they would just kind of fall exactly where I had set them. The snap, if there's a snap feature, it didn't work for me.
I don't think there is one.
It's a setting.
Really?
Isn't it a setting?
I don't know. All right,
Let's
I'm gonna have to dive into the options.
Grid snap size. You can turn off 1 card, half card, quarter card.
Whoa. Okay. Looks like, I wonder if that was fixed in an update or something.
I had the game open because I can't talk about this game without looking at it because there's so much stuff in it, and I went to the settings and there it is, right there, right in your face.
Hey, I'm just saying what the critics said. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Get them out of here. They're lying. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
It was probably patched in later.
You're right. It probably was.
All right. It sold 35,000 copies within 6 days, which made it break even. So that's awesome.
Oh, wow. That's
Everything
really good.
After that was icing on the cake. There were ports to iOS and Android that were developed by a different company called Playdigious, and they were released in 2019. And then there was a port for Switch. I had no idea.
Oh.
Released this year, February 2,
wow.
Groundhog Day.
Oh. Yeah. That's portentous.
I feel like this game would be pretty solid on Switch if you can use the touchscreen, which I know
because it rocks. I have it on my iPad. It's amazing on the iPad.
I can see that. This game also had several DLC releases. It looks like there's like new like characters you can pick from them.
They're like different starting points. We can talk about them in our own opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is the game basically. There's no like really spoilers section, I don't think, for this, because every like path is like very different, and the fail and like victory conditions are pretty unique depending on like which character you choose and like what happens down that path. So I don't feel like there's anything really like super spoilery.
I would say, like, when I was looking for information on, like, why am I so stupid at this game? Like, everything that was talking about being a guide, even just, like, talking about basic mechanics of the game was, like, spoilers. You should probably go figure all this out on your own. Like, the game wants you to. So, if you want to, like, that's...
Okay.
Like, it's not really story spoilers, but, like, at least as far as the game is structured and the intent behind it, it's kind of spoilery to get more in-depth on mechanics.
Well, and
I guess.
like stop the video right now if you want to play this game and figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
Because everything else from here is quote unquote spoiler.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that is the way to do it for sure. Okay. I'm gonna throw the spoilers tag on anyway, just because I agree with you, Mox, with what you said. And we'll just keep it on for the stream in case people are popping and they're worried. So let's discuss this game and how we feel about it. Mox, you're gonna go last because I feel like you're gonna have a lot of good things to say.
Okay.
Austin, go first. I feel like I'm in the middle.
Sure. So I had played this before for a bundle, and I really did not get the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so like,
okay.
I guess the appeal is.
I'm gonna interrupt you for 1 second.
Okay.
I would like everyone here to say like their experience, just like with board games in general. Like, are you a big board game fan? Yeah. Well, like just board games in general. I feel like, but also like tabletop, sure. But, and I'm not talking about no Monopoly. I'm talking, like.
No, legit.
I feel like the
German
entry.
board games.
Listen, dude, I've played at least 20 versions of Monopoly. Okay,
that's awesome.
No, throw them away.
No.
But you know what I mean. Like
Monopoly mugs.
Everyone's entry drug is like Settlers of Catan usually, and then So
So in terms of board game experience, I've dabbled. It's not something I do extensively. Pretty much, I'll only really do that with other people who are like, "Let's get together and play board games."
When they say that, do you go to their house or are you the person with the board games?
Sometimes they'll bring something over to my place.
Right, but you're not the holder of games.
I like the most advanced thing I have is probably Betrayal at House on the Hill.
The expansion for that.
It's a great game. I love that game. But Chris taught me how to play that. The big thing is, whenever I do it, somebody's introducing the game to me, and they're teaching me the rules because they already know them. Like, if nobody knows the rules, I'm like, I don't want to do this because we spend all this time trying to read and figure out what each situation calls for, and it drives me nuts. I hate
it. You don't like
I
reading
want somebody there
manuals?
To guide me through the rules, to be like, okay, well, here's how this works.
Yep.
Because I don't like reading rules. It takes forever, and it's like, that's one of the reasons I like games. The rules are just kind of enforced on their own.
That's totally fair.
Instead of, that's just how I am.
Okay.
And sometimes I'm a party pooper because of that. It drives some of my friends crazy, but that's basically my experience so far. I know the appeal of this game is figuring out how everything works on your own through failure, and I generally don't like that type of learning. Unless it's like you can fail and like not really lose a lot. But like you said earlier, runs take a long time.
Yeah.
And so it felt like throwing myself against a brick wall. But each time it was just like I had to just kind of see the brick wall coming an hour away. I thought the interface was really good. Like,
that's such like a backhanded, like, I have nothing else to say except the interface was good.
That was specifically like something that I thought worked really well. Like when you hold on to a card, you can see things that will light up. Like you can use the card here, or things like that. I liked that you could very quickly just like pause your timers and be like, okay, what do I want to do next? So I wasn't like overwhelmed with.
You can
choices.
also move. You can move everything, like every button can be moved.
Yeah, which was pretty sweet. Like all of that worked very well. Like I didn't experience any like bugs with it. I think it's important to talk about games on a technical level as well. And technically, I think this is just like this is a very well polished game to accomplish what they're setting out for. There were a lot of times that I would get really confused about, like, I would unlock something. For example, at some point I got cult members and I would want to talk to them about something. It'd be like, well, you can talk about them once you start a cult. And it was like, I thought I started a cult. I don't understand how. And so like, I couldn't figure out how to actually formally start that cult with them. Like, I had a location. I would try to explore it and they'd be like, well, bring your cult members. It's like, I don't have cult members. So there were lots of times where I was close to figuring something out and like getting going, and I just couldn't get it there. Most people I would talk to really caused me problems.
That just seems like bad luck.
Either they were people friendly to me, and I couldn't talk to them because it was like, okay, start your cult and then talk to them, or it was somebody who wasn't like potentially part of my cult, and then it was just like, hey, now they're suspecting you of being a cult leader. It takes a lot of, you have to really like focus hard on building up specific stats. It seems like, or it's like, it becomes harder and harder as you build them up to where they got to a point where it was like, I don't even know how I would get 2 of these type of card before one of them would expire. And I'm guessing there's like stuff that you can do to slow down their decay or like work on multiple at once or something like that. I'm not sure.
Are you referring to the Vitality card?
Vitality, and there were some others as well.
The reason one.
Yeah, you had to like come up with lessons in whatever. And then like so that like there was a clear progression to them. It just was very daunting to build them up. It seemed like if you played if you tried to go well rounded, then something was going to get you eventually. I really struggled with this one, and each playthrough that I did, I just felt more and more depressed that I was spending my time with the game. And like at the end of each playthrough, like the first playthrough, I felt like I learned a lot. And then the second playthrough, I was like, I think I did some of that by accident because now I don't know how to get to where I was. And the third playthrough that I did, I was just so depressed that I was redoing all this stuff again. And I'm dumb. I've got a big dumb brain, not big dumb, a little dumb brain. And
it's not the size. It's
this was too hard for me. This was too tough for me. I would give it a 6 out of 10 because I think, just for me, I think the interface, like I said, the interface is really good.
Yeah.
And on a technical level, like this is very polished. It just, the appeal of this game is objectively not something that appeals to me in any game, I would say.
This, because it's a like board game too, I feel like interface is like a huge, like it makes or break a game like this.
You can have a great board game that gets put on Steam or something like that with a terrible interface and it just kills the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. I totally agree with that.
So I also don't think that this would work as like a regular board game very well. Like this is very much suited towards being a video game.
Yeah, because
of the way the timers work and everything like that. Yeah. That would be hard to enforce as like an actual board game. And so I think it's a perfect fit for being a video game.
Yeah.
Board game. Yeah.
That's some good insight actually. That's because like it seems to be the other way around typically.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be like, well, this one couldn't go. It could not be a board game.
I'm sure somebody could make it work, but you'd have to rework some mechanics and stuff
for
like
sure,
that, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Somebody made Dark Souls a board game, right?
There's a Skyrim one coming out too. Yeah. So I played this game for roughly 5 hours. Usually I play game for Video Game Club it usually takes us like 10-ish hours to beat it, but I feel like I had a pretty good concept of what this game was for 5 hours. At least what my interpretation was going to be. But even only playing 5 hours, like I feel like I barely scratched the surface just because I mean, I understand what this game is, but there's a lot of, like we said before, like fail and victory conditions. And there seems to be like characters that you unlock. And like after you do certain events, like other characters can be selected, it seems. And so like I feel like overall, like I just barely touched it. I saw there was like a ton of achievements for this game, for example, as well. overall, I think I had a good time. I wish the game had a tutorial. I know it doesn't want to do that, but I still wish it did. I saw a lot of stuff like guides like how to play this game and stuff like that. And like Austin ran into, I also ran into like spoilers, don't, you're supposed to learn on your own. I understand that, they don't want that, but it would have been nice maybe to do like have what the character that you start off with is like, put this here to do this. And then and it kind of like gives you breadcrumbs, but it doesn't tell you like everything. That would have been super appreciative. Despite this game not having a tutorial and being kind of like, I don't know, a crazy puzzle trying to figure out everything through failure, I feel like the game was really, really like fascinating and how it worked. Like I really like the timing stuff. The lore's cool, I guess. I'm not like super into it, but I don't know. It was nice. It was a nice change pace for me. I did have some strange parts where I wasn't clear on like what I should do next. So I went to this thing called the Wood, and when I got there, I was supposed to drag a card to a location on this like map that was presented to me, but it didn't tell me that, and I didn't know. And you don't usually like you drag cards onto buttons, but these weren't button shaped either. They didn't have this like symbol. Like if you look at the footage, you can see like this symbol on the buttons. Like they all kind of share the same art language for what they look like. And so I legit thought I ran into a bug. So I like saved and exited, and then I reopened it. I had to look into the Steam discussions, like the little like forum stuff, and I found another person that had the exact same issue as me, and they're like, "Oh yeah, drag a card," and they were like, "Oh, thanks, that's easy." So I dragged a card, and then I was immediately unstuck. I could keep going back to the Wood, but I could not progress further in it. I needed something, and I didn't know what I needed. It was one of those things where I like go visit it again, and I was like, "Okay, now what?" And then like it didn't matter, but I don't know. It was cool to see a different picture on the screen. The other thing I really liked was that so you're playing on like a placemat kind of, and the placemat would like a weird sound would happen on certain events, and this like inked like image would show up that was like really creepy. Mm-hmm. That was really cool. I really like that. I'm definitely going to play a bit more of it. Overall I enjoyed it, and I want to figure it out. So I'm like, yeah, I want to play it some more. I think like this would be really good on like Steam Deck or like a tablet. Would be a really good fit. Switch is interesting to me, but because I already have it on Steam, I'm like, I don't want to buy it again. But like a Steam Deck version would be really, really good. I could just see myself like playing it before bed. Let's see here. I did get a minor victory, which with I believe it was the inspector, and that was really cool. It was like I won one time, kind of.
Did you take down a cult or?
I don't remember what it said actually, and I wish I would have written it down.
Wow!
It just said minor victory.
Do you remember how you achieved victory?
It was through the detective. You did something with the detective.
I think I did find a cult member or something. I think that's how it happened. Like I found something because I went on several. I interrogated people like several times, and this person I like got far enough to where it gave me some sort of victory. I feel like a lot of love and passion really went into this game, and I can see that like the more that I played of it, like, and if I got into like the rules, I think it would be like a really, really good experience. I'm not really sure how to rate this one because I don't know, I didn't get a major victory, so I don't know if that like counts as like, did I finish this game? I don't know, but I also would give it a 6. I think it's really okay. I wish it had a proper tutorial. I understand why it doesn't, but I still wish it did. And if it would have had one, I think I would have rated it much higher. I do like board games. I forgot to say that. Here I am like getting on to Austin about his board game love, and I didn't say it myself. I'm the kind of person who has like some collection of board games, but not like tons of them. Usually I buy them because I played them at a friend's house and I love them. They were gifted to me, or they're like a 2-player game that I'm like, oh, this sounds really fun to play with Ashley at some point. Something like that. So like I really do love board games. I love like reading the rules of them. I like learning how to play new ones. I love to go, like, whenever I was younger, I would go to like a board game store and play board games with like random people and just destroy them, which was really fun. I don't know. I really love playing board games, and so that's why I think but the thing I love about them is I love the rule set and reading the rules before I play to see like what is like a good strategy for this board game, or like what is like the most efficient way, or where are the risks, and and how do you get rewards from those risks? And you don't have that with this. So it's not, I don't really see it as like a 1-to-1. Yeah, I'm interested to see like how I feel the more I play it, and I think I will play it a couple hours more at least. I think it will be one of those games that stays installed on my machine, and like every once in a while I'll be like, let me do like a quick run just to see, and kind of go from there. So yeah, it's a 6 right now for me. Mox.
So I really like board games. I joined like a board game club in a previous city I lived in. I played, I don't know, hundreds probably of different board games throughout the years I was there. And those people were like friends with people who made board games. So I met tons of people who made board games. Like I met Z-Man of Z-Man Games, who makes a bunch of games like Pandemic. Anyway, I like you.
We get it, Mox. You're a big deal.
I know. I'm a big deal in initial caps. I have played a bunch of games, and then I'd go and buy them, for myself, because I like to play the same game if I like it, but I don't like to play games that I don't like to play. So anyway, I like board games. Like you, I like to read the rules too and figure out where to go from there. I'm that person that opens the manual before like doing anything with the thing I just bought. Same. And so this game totally took that out of my hands and said, you will not do that because there is no manual, which is fine. The opening, I don't know, screen, I guess, has like a little quote, like a fake quote that they have for the game. And then they say like the instructions are basically like explore, take risks. You won't always know what to do next. Keep experimenting and you'll master it. Well, I've played this game for like a total of 20 hours across like a bunch of different playthroughs. And I have no idea what I'm doing at any time. And so I wish that was like a promise that they could keep, that I would master it, but I don't know how to master it. I've read, I don't know, hundreds of Wikipedia pages, the wiki, whatever, the Cultist wiki about it. And so many Reddit threads about like, you don't know what you're doing? Read this thread, or beginner, tips, or you really don't mind seeing spoilers? Just read this. You'll know how to do it after you read this. And I've read every single one of those, and I have no idea what I'm doing still. I've never won, which is sad, but I guess if you play longer, maybe you'll win. But I haven't gotten to there yet. But anyway, I still like the game. Like I opened up my screen from a previous playthrough. I had played 10 hours on Steam, and then I switched to the iPad version. It was on sale on some iOS day or something, like Halloween maybe. And so I bought them all of the expansions. Oh. And I was playing mostly on my iPad for a while, but then as I was sitting here talking about it, I opened up my Steam version, and I forgot that I got like well through a playthrough, and so I'm looking at all the things I unlocked, and it's cool. I really like the like lore that they set up, and they Weather Factory like made a tarot deck based on the lore, and they made a tabletop game, I forget what it's called, based on the lore, and all those things sold. They sell out as soon as they list them because people really like it. The art's cool, the lore is cool, the mystery. I mean, it's like they never write anything completely. Everything's really mysterious, I guess. Yeah. And that's fun. And normally I don't like when it's like, oh, it's up for interpretation, but there's not even a way to interpret it. It's just like, this is how it is. Deal with it. It's nothing. It's something, but it's nothing. I like that. I wish it were easier. I wish there was, like you said, I don't know, some starting off. Every time you start a new game, you get a legacy. I wish there was a legacy that's like beginner legacy, and then it just like handholds you through a victory condition, because I literally have no idea how to achieve any victories. And similarly, like, it's so easy to die, and maybe that's just inexperience, but there's like maybe 5 ways to die, but I feel like I'm on the verge of every single one of those ways at any time in any game I play. And then, like you were saying earlier, it just kind of tumbles, and I could see that it's going to happen. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to sit here and fast forward until I die so I can get my legacy and start again. Yeah. Which sucks. But I don't know. I kind of want to keep playing until I can win.
One of I remember the way that I won. I do remember one thing that really helped, which was I had a location card that was like an auction house.
Oh, yes.
And I would sell stuff there and buy stuff. And that allowed me to continue to have like a pretty decent chunk of change so that I didn't lose by the timer. And then I had like another way to get health. But I remember at one point in that run, I was like, I really had to plan, okay, I need a ton of money. The other thing that happened, I think it was like a different playthrough, was that like my father died or some relative and left me to like a fortune.
That's the bright young thing legacy.
Yeah. That also was like extremely helpful, and I was able to use that to play for like a long time and figure out more of the game. Yeah, anyway.
Well, it's frustrating that you have to, I don't know, find certain ways to be able to play the game. I just really wish I could tell it like, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing. Can you just like make it a little bit easier? Give me like a handicap, and then it would let me do that so I could actually like explore the game. Like I'm too scared to press the play button on this old save file I have because I have so much junk. And I'm like, I know as soon as I press play, like something's going to be bad. Like I have, like when they investigate you, they get evidence. And I could see on this table is damning evidence, which is like one step away from a fail condition. And I'm like, oh God, I'm just not even I'm just going to keep it like this forever. But in any case, I like the game. I wish it were easier. But I like how much time they put into all the different aspects of it. And like, if you read the wiki, there's just so much stuff about every single little piece. There's, I don't know, thousands and thousands of words written in this game. And then even more thousands written by people who are like, hey, this is what I think about this piece that has nothing to do with anything, but is fun to think about. And I just like that, I don't know, there's a lot of passion that went into this game. And I think it's fun when I'm not losing. And I like it when I'm not dying. But otherwise, it's fun.
Should board game fans play this game?
I think what drew me in more than being a board game fan is being a fan of Lovecraft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I appreciate the board game aspect of it, but I don't know, when you play a board game, you can learn it and do better. Yeah. And I feel like I don't get that with this game, and it punishes me and it makes me feel bad. But what keeps drawing me in is like, I really want to unlock, like more pieces of lore in this little aspect of the game because it interests me. And, they have like themes in the game that are really interesting. So anyway, if you like Lovecraft, you'll definitely like this game. If you like board games, give it a try. But I don't know if that'll draw you in more than the appreciation for the actual like art and words.
Yeah.
Things. Plus, you can be a Latin scholar and a Greek scholar in this game, and that's just all you need to be in the world.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't figure out how to do it, but I did find stuff that needed that.
Yeah. I also found in one of my runs like something that had to be translated, and I did find all the things to do it, and I was able to translate it, which was pretty cool.
It feels good.
It is very satisfying when you like if you're watching the footage now, there's a red card that is seen in the footage with like a muscle, like a guy like holding like a dumbbell. I was able to like level up, like use that card and like use like you have to like use a lot of vitality and stuff, and you can like level up something. I was able to do that and get like additional health, which is pretty cool.
It's so satisfying when you accomplish something. Like you can do little I don't even know what they're called, like expeditions basically. Mm-hmm. Like if you discover a location that has, I think they're called like treasure.
Yeah, I did
vaults
that
or something.
Yeah, I did that, and I found some treasure, cool. And then I was like, what do I do with this treasure? That's kind of where I was stuck. But
you get like, it feels so like you accomplish something.
Yeah.
When that happens. But that brings me to my last point, that for a game that is so inscrutable, luck should not be as much of a factor as it is.
Yeah.
I agree.
There's a card that you get like typically in the beginning that's like, oh, if you study this card, something might happen. And you can study it over and over and over and over, and like nothing will happen. And did you guys run into that?
Well, yeah, there's like a whole bunch of things like that, where there's one that's called Streets Strange by Moonlight, where you can explore it over and over. And if you don't explore it, then the card expires. And so I was like, oh man, I bet there's something here. And I just kept exploring it. And you can accumulate the cards that will eventually lead to a failure condition if you keep doing it and you get unlucky.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, just like Can you make this a little easier for me, please?
Agree.
Oh, I guess my rating. I would give it an 8 because I feel like the amount of effort that went into it is really just like astonishing, and how much thought people put into it. But I just wish they would make it a little easier.
Yeah, I feel like we all kind of have. There's some consensus in that a tutorial or something, some way to make it just like a bit easier, or like like an introduction run or something would have made it a bit more enjoyable.
Or I wish I could. Oh, go ahead.
But maybe we're just bad. Maybe we're just old and stupid and bad, you know?
Whoa.
Sorry.
I will not accept that.
Sorry.
Neither old nor stupid.
I will say it was really hard for me. But like, kudos to them for sticking to their vision of like, hey,
True.
You just need to learn it and get good. Like, I don't think Dark Souls should have an easy mode, right?
Okay,
I know some people think that it should. No, I get it. I get that some people feel that it should.
Metroid Dread.
Personally, I got through Dark Souls and I was like, I don't think that should have an easy mode. Metroid Dread, I think an easy mode could fit there. Dark Souls, I don't think that fits really the intent of the game to have an easy mode. Yeah. And just like I don't think that it fits the intent of this game to have an easy mode. So I totally get why they didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would have probably pulled me into the game more, but I think that also would have compromised the experience for a lot of people who do really love the game for like, and have figured out its mechanics. So for me, it's a 6. I don't think that doesn't make it objectively, like, I don't think it should be objectively a 6. It's just my experience with it, right?
That's your opinion. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a little dive and our take on Cultist Simulator. If you enjoyed hearing us discuss Cultist Simulator and want to join us for the next Video Game Club episode, stay put, because our next vote just ended, and it was between The Wolf Among Us, Tales from the Borderlands, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. And it looks like the winner is The Wolf Among Us. Thank you everyone who voted. Wolf Among Us, it's on PC, Xbox, other stuff probably. I don't know. You'll find it.
A bunch of stuff, like, yeah.
It's a classic
on, like,
Telltale game.
Android.
Yeah,
OG.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for listening and joining us. Just as a reminder, you can catch us here on twitch.tv/BombchuTV every 2 weeks at 2 Eastern, with the next stream being on November 21st. Or if you can't make the live session, don't worry. You can find it up on YouTube and all major podcast services, thanks to the magic of editing. Just search Bombchu Video Game Club and you will find it. Before we leave, does anybody want to plug anything? I want to plug the newest Game Pass video for October. Please go check it out if you are interested in Game Pass. Maybe you're just interested in, like, well, I don't have an Xbox, I just have a PC. Totally fine. Like, we show like what system like that came to, so you can see like, okay, this is a game that I would have had, and you can get like a nice little overview of all the games. There were some real treats in there. November will be interesting to see because there's some big games coming. So the past months they've kind of just added like a ton of stuff, but it was kind of smaller. So it'll be interesting to see with bigger games coming if they continue to add a bunch of smaller stuff in between. So yeah, that's...
You're gonna let me cover Halo Infinite, right?
Yeah, right.
Just teasing.
I wish it had a co-op campaign though, and we could play it together.
Me too.
But we will one day. And gosh, I'm so excited for that game. My buddy bought me a sweatshirt last year because he was like, "Well, the game didn't come out last year, but at least you have the sweatshirt you can wear." I was like, "Oh, I've been wearing it around because I'm so hyped." Yeah. Mox, you probably just want to tell people to play Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, Endgame got delayed, and I just want to go and tell Yoshi P that it's okay. We'll be happy when he can get it to us.
No. Austin, anything that people should check out because you say so?
Knockout City has a free trial until you hit level 25. I keep telling everybody, like, all my friends, I told them about that, and they would just not listen. But they were like, well, yeah, but And I'd be like, yeah, but you can try it for free until you hit level 25.
Which
like,
is a while.
What? I have to pay money? Yeah, well, unless you play on a double XP weekend. And then your demo time gets kind of cut short. But yeah, it's super fun. It's play the tutorial. All my friends were also like, when I finally got them to try it, they were like, I'll skip the tutorial. You can just tell me. And then I was telling them things one by one, and they were like, maybe I should play the tutorial. So play the tutorial. There's a lot of stuff to learn in there, but it's really fun. Very cool game.
Okay, awesome. Austin, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Of course, always. And Mox, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us as well.
Thank you for having me.
Always. I'm Tyler. This was Video Game Club episode 36.
Wow.
Cultist Simulator. And we are out of here.